Hey guys, gonna do a tutorial now on how to analyze games. So first we're going to do a quick game. I've got an unrated blitz game. I've got the Caro-Kann on the board. My opponent's rated 918. So it's going to be a fairly quick game. I'll try and talk you through the process, and then because I've had a message from contact on chess.com saying how do you actually do the analysis stuff. Okay, that's a very weird move. So is he wanting to bring his knight into here? If he is, I'm going to play this. So, the idea that the better you get at chess, I think the more you pay mind to stopping your opponent's ideas as much as progressing your own. We've seen games, plenty of games, when people are only looking at their own pieces and completely ignore their opponent's pieces, right? But really good players they spend about as much mental effort on stopping their opponent. I'm going to play another pawn move here. I know I've played 6 pawn moves in a row. But yeah, the really good players spend as much time constraining their opponent's ideas as promoting their own. Okay, so I've been left with a big dark squared pawn mass in the middle. This knight is looking very, very dodgy now. He's going to have to come back here, maybe there. I don't know. So let's develop. I'm thinking knight probably here. Then it could come to there. I think that's all right. Oh, he's attacking me. I just ignored his move, see? Just ignored it. Didn't look at what he just did. I was thinking about my own side of the board. Okay. All right, now his king's exposed because Freddy's gone. So I'm going to get castled and I'm going to throw my Freddy, white Freddy, up the board. Oh, white Freddy, ram the lamb. Okay, drop the bishop back. Lots of he's now got exactly the same shape that I just had before I traded off there. That's funny. Okay, now there's a lovely square for my knight there, where it is defended. Or is it a case of push this? For push he takes, I've got bishop on there and rook on there. That's not looking too bad. But let's get the knight here as well, because the knight's also then looking at that square. So this is where the action's going to take place. Right, F5, I think, is going to be where all the shit goes down. Okay, he's doing something with his bishop. I don't know what, and I'm not sure he does either. Okay, now it's... See if he takes with this pawn. I've got queen in, eh? So I'm going for it. He's going to capture. He might capture. Okay, he's captured outwards. Now I've got this. And I'm just going to try and squeeze the life out of him. Come here. Look at the rucca. Look at the rucca. I used to work in an Italian restaurant, and the head waiter was Roberto. And he used to, when he got a call, if somebody wants a table, he says, "Let me just look at the bocca. Let me just look at the bocca." Okay, so I'm thinking bishop here, bring my bishop to there, face off here. He's got to trade off, really. Ooh, interesting. Okay, I feel like there needs to be a rook on this file. So let's bring this knight round, yeah? This knight can come around here. Oh, he's just undeveloped his knight, so he's going in there. If he wants to trade off his knight for my knight, fair play to him, I don't care. I ain't even bothered, mate, because look, I've got loads of knights. I've got knights coming out of my ears blood. Okay, that's defended by knight and queen. Do I want to trade the bishops off, or do I want to send Harry in? Harry Carry, we call him. Go on then, let's do the bishop move. My king hasn't got an awful lot of bodyguard around him. I don't think that Harry needs to be unleashed at this point. Okay, so we've got a trade. Jolly, jolly good. That's still defended there. But my opponent's actually the pawn up at this point. He's not doing bad, has to be said. 2 defenders there. I think it's a job for Harry. I'm sorry. Okay, now there's a line open for his rook, but I'm not too fussed about that. I think Harry's going to try and do some damage. There takes... I'll drop the queen back here first. So he's fiddling with that bishop. I don't know what he's doing with that bishop. But he's not playing a bad game. And he's up on time. Oh. Okay, I have now 1, 2 pieces looking at that. This pawn's pinned, can't recapture. Now I've undefended that pawn, but... No, I haven't. No, I haven't. Okay, now that might be the kind of sub 1000 miscalculation. He's thinking that was defended, but he's now lost the pawn. Okay. Okay. So I have to defend the bishop. I have to do something about that. This is now a possibility as well. Let's just drop the rook back. I think Harry can go here now. Because he can't take because he's still pinned. Okay. Well, that's alright. Go on, Harry. If takes and takes and takes, I'm in a very strong position with this bishop and with my rook on the open file. He's pushed. Ah, push it. Push it good. Let's play rook here. Now this pawn... Ooh. Ooh. Is there any point in that? Okay, I want to get my queen in here somehow, so I'm going to play here. Queen's the only defender of this pawn right now. I think he might play this, but then... Oh, no. Not having any of that nonsense. Okay, so now queen, I think, here. That's defended by a rook, mate. So I'm now threatening to come in here or here even. Come straight in there. King can't go there. That would be checkmate. Won't it? There you go. Boom. Checkmate. Nice one. All thanks to this rook. I actually think my opponent played pretty well there. I think that was good. Good game. Okay, now, so the question is, how do you analyse the game? So now I think, now this might only be if you're like a Diamond member or something, you get the game review thing, which is a kind of pretty and customised format. So I'm going to open that in a new tab. I'm also going to open the analysis board in a new tab. And we'll have a look at the difference in those. So I'm not accepting challenges right now. So first is the game review, if you get it. And it takes a little while, and they're trying to add a lot of value here. Ooh, look, I was worse in the middle game. Look at that. With 3 mistakes. Okay, and this is very similar to the analysis board, but it's got like kind of lots of added bells and whistles. So I'm quite happy with like 75% in a blitz game. Okay, so what you can do now, you can click on the forwards and backwards buttons here. Okay, so now it's highlighted here C6 with my opponent's move. Or I just prefer to use the keyboard, left and right arrows. Okay, normal Caro-Kann, blah blah blah. Okay, now it's saying the symbols on here mean that it's a book move, and that means it's part of an acknowledged, maybe not classical, but standard opening that's been recognised and played a lot. So this is the fantasy variation, it's telling you here. Now it knows that. If you click on this, it goes into the Explorer on chess.com, so you can have a look at, well, let's have a quick look. From this position, oh, it's not the Explorer, it's the Openings Guide. Okay, and now you can kind of explore from here. Okay, so it says E6 is a response now by black, or takes or whatever in these positions, and it gives you the number of proportion, and this is from the Masters database, how many times has white won, or black won, or drawn. You can see that when Masters play, there's a lot more draws, which is understandable. Okay, so the best move from white's perspective here is D takes. and then you can click on that. Oh, and now we have got the full explorer. Okay, master games from this position. F takes c4 is always played. Obviously, it's a wing pawn recapturing a centre pawn, and you can follow it through from there. And this is actually not a bad thing to do. I also recommend view all games from current position. I mean, there are hundreds of them, but this is really quite interesting to do. So here, let's look at like this one. So this is 2 players over 2,000. And ooh, so you can. Oh, only 2,500s. Show me 2,500s that have played this. Okay, wow. Okay, so here you've got Maxime Vachier-Legrave, I think. Yep, and Kirill Alexchenko, and you get to see the game. Okay, so this is 2 grandmasters, I think, playing at that exact opening. Okay, and what do they do from this point? Takes. There, okay, and you can play it through and try and say, okay, for each move, why did they make that move? But anyway, that's not the point. What we were looking at was, this is the game report. Okay, so that's the last book move. Let's keep going through, and here, question mark, exclamation mark is an inaccuracy, which means there was better options on the board, and if you just click best, it will show you what was better. Okay, so the computer says that actually trading in the middle of the board was better. Then you just click the back button again, and that's the move that was played. And it tends to throw in an extra move every time you go back and forwards, which is annoying. So c3 is good. But now it's got beyond like the first 3 or 4 moves. It will say this best move, okay? And it will also, you can click show line, and it will say, okay, well, it's not the best move, but here's how it would go with accurate play from here. Okay, now you always have to remember, human beings don't work like computers. So the computer here is thinking, you know, it can calculate far better than you or I can calculate. So I really think that much beyond this point, you don't want to be relying on the computer or going to the computer to tell you how you should play beyond the first few moves, I don't think, unless you see a blunder or a mistake, okay, and you can't see why it was a blunder or a mistake, and then you'd say, okay, computer, show me, what did I do wrong? So here, for example, on this graph, so the graph is the numeric estimate of who's doing better at each point, okay? And if it's positive, if it's a plus, it's white's doing better. And if it's negative number, then black is doing better and more likely to win, okay? So here you can see I screwed up somewhere in the middle of the game. Now there's not much point going over the really fine points of the opening. I mean, it says that's okay, but a better move would have been take the knight, yeah, which I did consider. You know, it gives him double isolated pawns on there. Plus, it has to be said, I've got a light squared pawn chain, which is going to restrict this bishop. So maybe I want to swap off that bishop for his only developed piece. So I can see the argument for that. And it tells you the resultant estimate of who's doing better for each move option. So bishop takes h6 would have been better. He plays that, which is good. I play this again. But you know, when you're talking about small differences like 0.87 to 1.18 is not a huge margin really. But what you want to be looking at then is, okay, well, that's how I can improve my first few moves. Okay, now I'm looking for this, because the orange dot here I think signifies a mistake. Okay, and also on here, the question mark in an orange circle, that's a mistake. Okay, and it's highlighting the ones on my side. Okay, so and now I go here, Queen E2 is a mistake. You missed an opportunity to win material. Did I? Okay. And the first thing that you should probably do is go is try and figure out why. Okay, you missed an opportunity. It's giving me a hint here. Missed an opportunity to win material from this position. I mean, that looks like a good move. And you can also then go retry. So he's done that. Was this better? And then it's going to analyse that move. No, that's also inaccurate. Okay, let's retry again. What's it want then? To win material. I can't play my knight in there, it just gets taken. Hanging pawn. But everyone's sitting there at home going, spitting out their breakfast cereal going, there's a pawn on b5. You numpty. It's got a hanging pawn in it. Okay, so queen e2 is a mistake. And I'm going to retry and go, haha! No, it's bloody not. That's a blunder. Why? Show me. Because a bishop there, rook there, castles. Okay, I don't see why it's a blunder. I don't. Anyway, so it's not that move. So let's try again. Queen e2 is a mistake. Show me the best one then. All right, computer, how is that winning material if I trade my bishop for a couple of pawns? Show me the line, okay? Yeah, well, I mean, it's not very nice for black, but hey ho. I think a lot of players would still grab the rook. I don't know. I'm not utterly convinced in that one. But that's the point. You should be looking only at, okay, where did I make a mistake? So here he takes this, I take that. That's a mistake. Best would have been pushing up with Harry. Really? Difference between +3 and +6, and that is quite a difference. Okay. So anyway, so that's a brief look at the report. Now it will, at the end, it will, when you do if you want to do the retries and say, oh, I see why that was better, it will give you an adjusted score. And here it's got a little report on that. There's lots of stuff that you can do, and then it's going to suggest lessons and also puzzles based on what it thinks you don't understand maybe well enough in the game. But let's also then have a quick look at the analysis board. Okay, so here, if you go back, that was the game review. The analysis board is slightly different, and it's just got basically it gives you 3 lines, okay, for each thing. Okay, so from here, okay, right, so up here it's got, based on the 3 next moves, the 3 top next moves for white are knight d2, and this line would lead to plus 0.78. Okay, so it's saying knight d2 is the line that's likely to come out best for white. The next one is knight c3, and finally e5 is an idea. Right, now I would definitely play e5 if the knight comes out, because then you get to play it with tempo, but that's apparently good. Okay, so, and then it's showing you this is what the computer would probably get if it was computer versus computer, right? And here you've got the depth equals 20, and I think you can fiddle with that if you want to. Yeah, so you can run it down, and it's basically how many moves ahead is it allowed to look. Got a choice of engines and stuff like that, but I don't mess around with any of that stuff. Okay, so that's basically what it's showing you. You know, for the next 3 moves, what is likely with accurate play. How's it going to work out? I don't know if is that going to be the rating after the very next move. We'll see. Okay, but I played this, which is the fantasy variation. The computer doesn't like it, So on the side here now it's got it equal, 0, 0. But I like it because Caro-Kann players don't see it all the time, and it's kind of spicy. And now it didn't like that move. Now it's put white to plus 0.6. Yeah, and as we know, bishop takes h6 is good. Knight c3 is also good. So I could have played knight c3 here. I played c3. Okay, so you can. I mean, I just tend to click on the report really these days. I don't go into super in-depth analysis because, you know, I'm a 1500 around that mark, not a 2000 or 2500, where you really want to be polishing every little decision that you make. And there, I think the computer can be more helpful. What we need to be doing at this level is saying, okay, computer, show me where I really screwed up in this game. And then you need to look at each of those mistakes or blunders, right? If you've got blunders in your game, start with them. This is, you know, you don't want to go polishing the car until you've hosed the mud off the car, right? First, get the jet wash and hose the bloody mud off the car. And that's what you do, you know, when you are learning and when you're playing a bunch of blunders. Look at the blunders. What did I miss? What did I miss? What is it on the board? So let's go back to the the game report. Okay, so here I make a blunder or a mistake. Okay, so a mistake is quite serious, and it says I no longer have a winning position. Why is that a mistake? And why was this move better? Because if I play this, right, and now it's gone in, it's switched over to the analysis board now. Yeah, when I've changed the setup. If he takes there, that would be terrible. Okay, and now it's giving me h6 as a possibility for black. That's not bad. Or rook a7. Okay, why would he play that? And you really can. You know, these tools they're like teachers. You don't need a chess teacher if you can get your head around this. But really, the information is there for you. So clearly, he's not going to take here. Let's play. Say he plays h6. Okay, then a takes b4. Suddenly is better. Huh. Now it's saying a takes b4 is a perfectly good move. It just wasn't on the previous move. Weird one. So what if this h takes g6? H takes g6 is now saying it's only +3, whereas a takes b4 is +5. So maybe it's something about forcing this pawn push here has really weakened black. It's created a target. This pawn is no longer defended by the king, yeah? So maybe at some point drop the queen back, attack this pawn, and really open him up. So it's now saying that is the best move. And it's saying, yeah, +5. Rook a6 is most likely here, or rook a2. He actually played rook a2 around there in the game, yeah, inaccuracy. And now h takes g6, of course. Yeah. Yeah, and this is starting to look very, very good. Okay, so I hope that's been useful for you guys. I do tend to analyse quite a lot of the games that I post, not always, and I know some people like to see the analysis as well. But this, quite honestly, this is something I'm still getting my head around myself. You know, I'm still, very much an early stage student of chess, trying to work things out. But I think one key thing is the more you use these tools, certainly the more it will help your chess. But don't get too hung up on it. Particularly, don't get caught in the weeds by when the computer says, well, this move, yeah, that wasn't the best move, you could have found a slightly better one. If you want to sit and stare at that for hours and figure out why, yes, it will help. I mean, you're exercising your chess brain, and it's not a bad thing. But don't get too hung up on it, you know. Start with, what are the biggest issues? Where are the biggest points? Go onto the review here, right? You look at the graph. Where are the biggest points at which it swings in my opponent's favor away from me? Okay, these are those points, 1, 2, 3, right? That's all you need to look at, okay? And the key thing, so let's just go back to this one, right? Why is that a mistake? Bishop takes f5 is best, okay? I don't think it's terribly clear, that one. I mean, that's a really tricky one. It says you miss an opportunity to win material, but then the line, I've just sacrificed it, but then he's not recaptured. So if he recaptures with the pawn, I've got queen in there, king's forced to here. Oh no, that would be checkmate. Oh no, because he's captured with the pawn, right? But that is how you get better. Sit and work it out. I just can't quite see. This is not so clear cut. And when you can't see a position being, or the computer suggestion, if you can't get your head around it, don't sweat it, because it's a computer, right? And it's looking 20 moves ahead, and you can't, and neither can your opponent. So don't worry too much about it. If you look at something like this and you just can't see why it's better, let it go. It's fine, but focus on the ones where you can and say, okay, well, what is it that I missed, or what is it about my thought process or the way I look at the board that I missed from that, okay? And then it might even, take a copy of the position somehow and review it, revise it later on. Say, okay, well, how can I do better at that in future, right? But yeah, really, this does look like a horrible position now for black. But yeah, hope that was useful for the viewer who commented on that. And good luck. Thanks for watching. I'll see you later.